Hey Nomads! As many of you might already know, we recently moved into our new apartment here in Japan, and we, of course, during this process have looked at many different apartments, both online and in person, and we thought it would be a good idea to share some of the things that we found out, some of the things that are not usually included in Japanese apartments that we thought were kind of interesting. So that's what today's video is going to be about. So the first thing that is often not included in a Japanese rental property are the lights. Now, I'm not talking about just needing to get the electricity connected or needing to buy new light bulbs. I'm talking about the actual light fittings not being there at all. So you actually have to buy these separately. They're like a twist lock kind of light, so you just need to pop them in and turn them and they lock into place. And these kinds of lights can get quite pricey, especially if you need several for several rooms in your house. So it could be, several $100s just to put lights into your home. So it's a good idea to check whether lights are in fact included in your house or not. And if they're not, it's something that you'll need to get pretty soon after you move in. Number 2 is the stove top. Now, when you go look at properties online or in person, you may notice that in the kitchen there is a little alcove or a dip in the kitchen counter. Now, that space is for you to bring your own stovetop. This is something that we had never really thought about in Australia because it's usually considered part of the house, but it's not uncommon in Japan for that not to be included. So something to think about as well. Number 3 is the oven. Now, an inbuilt oven is not very common in Japan, I guess because Japanese cuisine doesn't really require an oven. A small grill is usually more than enough for Japanese style dishes. But rest assured that if you do like to use an oven for cooking, that there are a whole range of microwave ovens that have 1,000,001 features that you can certainly use as an oven substitute, and it works amazingly. Number 4 is a clothesline. Now, in Australia, our clotheslines are more like flexible metal, but in Japan, they are more like solid metal bars. I guess they are designed to hold the weight of things like futons. So usually out on the balcony, and most apartments have a small balcony space, you will find the facilities to install these metal bars. There'll be 2 ends with holes in them, but the actual metal bars are not included in the apartment. Fortunately though, they are very inexpensive, so it doesn't cost too much to put those up. Speaking of places to hang your clothes, that brings us to number 5, which is the lack of a bar in the cupboards to put your clothes hangers on. Now, I'm specifically talking here about Japanese style rooms, the ones with the tatami mat flooring. They usually have a more traditional style cupboard space. It's usually just one wooden shelf that divides the space into 2, and this is designed for storing futons. So because of that, there's actually no bar in there for you to hang clothes. So if you do want to hang clothes in a traditional Japanese style room, if you're using that as a bedroom, for example, then you do need to install your own bar, or you have to store your clothes in one of the other non-Japanese style rooms, which usually do have bars in them. So those are some of the things we have noticed during our apartment search here in Japan, some of the things that are often not included when renting an apartment here. We do have to say that not all properties are the same, that apartments will vary, and you can get lucky and sometimes have some of these things included. Next time, we're going to tell you about some of the things that are included in Japanese properties that are usually not in Western style homes. So we hope that will give you some insight as to some of the positive things, some of the extra cool things you get in Japanese houses that are not so usual, certainly not where we're from anyway. So we hope you enjoyed this video. We hope it gave you some insight into what it's like to live here in Japan. And we'd love to hear what is and isn't included in apartments where you are from. So please leave those in the comment section, and we will see you next time. Bye. Yes. It's pretty good natural lighting, hey?
Yeah, it's not
we
too
look
bad.
we look pretty good in this in this
I
lighting.
look pretty good in any light.
I know, it's not fair.